JD.
Yep.
Antonio, coach is on the line.
Hey, B.
Coach.
Hello.
Yo, what's up, coach?
What the hell's going on, man?
Just a villain all over the news, man.
Is Antonio all right?
He didn't behave like this before he started getting this money.
There's something wrong with AB.
Antonio Brown has been an absolute embarrassment.
You're not a villain. You're the most misunderstood fucking human being in my entire life that I've ever met. I mean, I brought you here because you're my favorite guy. I've never seen a guy work hard. And I don't know where you are in your life right now, off the street. All I know is you got a lot of things going. There's a lot of people that have an opinion about you. And whether it be good or bad, you're in the spotlight all the time. Let me ask you this, do you want to be a Raider or not?
Man, I've been trying to be a Raider since day one. I've been fucking working my ass off harder than anyone. I don't know why it's a question of me being a Raider. Like, do you guys want me to be a Raider?
Please stop this shit and just play football. How hard is it, man? You're a great football player. Just play football.
Yeah, but I'm more than a football player, man. I'm a real person. It ain't about the football. I know how to do that. I'll show you guys there on the daily. This is my life. Ain't no more games.
Welcome to the franchise. I'm Joe Arrigo, along with my partner TQ.
In the building.
Yes, and today you heard it coming into the very first show. Antonio Brown, I don't want to say he's up to his antics again, but John Gruden calls him with his agent Drew Rosenhaus. John asks him some very important questions. Basically, do you want to be a Raider or not? He says, I want to be a Raider. You're acting like you don't want me. And then John, to me, Squeeze, he sounds like he's just tired and drained. And he's like, then cut this shit and play football.
Yeah.
Like, where are you at with Antonio Brown? You're like Raider fan number one to me in Raider Nation.
That's me, buddy. I mean, I look at it as I'm not about the fairy tales, man. It is what it is. You know, this player has a certain personality. It was on display for years at Pittsburgh, especially the last year. You went and got him on the heels of the fiasco in Pittsburgh.
Right.
So you know his personality already. You got to deal with him a certain way. And I feel like up until, you know, Mayock made the
all in, all out?
Yeah, all in, all out thing, they were dealing with him fine. And not to say that he was wrong for that, but for this particular player, you know, it has the opportunity to set off a storm like
do you think that maybe, just maybe, we're all pointing the finger at Antonio Brown because of past history, which rightfully so, it's you are what your past is at times. Mm-hmm. But no one really knows what Mike Mayock is like behind closed doors. We've always seen him in front of the camera with the NFL Network, NFL Draft. You've seen him kind of get prickly at the draft, especially when they're having the silverback gorilla, do a pick for, I think, the Eagles or the Jaguars or somebody a couple years ago. And you kind of seen him get agitated. Yeah. But now he's the GM of a team, and really what people fail to realize, or maybe what Antonio's failing to realize, is John Gruden is his boss. So maybe John is telling him this is how you need to act. But do you think, or are you putting any blame on Mike Mayock for how he's handled the situation to maybe escalate it versus de-escalate it?
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying you could have de-escalated it and you didn't. And at the end of the day, you're the top HR guy. You're the guy that's in charge of the personalities. You brought the personalities in. You were naturally next to John Gruden during the draft, but you're the GM. You're the general manager. You need to manage the team. So it's on Mayock to understand that this particular player, which we're not saying that is right, we're not saying that is wrong. This particular player is the great player on the team.
The best player, the alpha male.
Great player on the team that is the consensus across the league. This is the great player. Sorry, but this is not fairy tale land. This is not your boy Vince Lombardi days. This is not none of that. Everybody is not equal. Antonio Brown is not to be treated just like everybody else on the Raiders. Now, you may have an opinion against that, and I'm not saying that that opinion is wrong. But I'm a fan. I'm Raider Nation. We are the most important people in the life of this team.
He's got a Raider flag right here.
You see who that is? He ain't got no helmet problem, ain't got no foot problem. He's on the field. You know what I'm saying? That's where I want AB at, on the field. I want Mike Mayock, I want John Gruden to do whatever it takes to get Antonio Brown on the field because that's their job. Simple as that.
Don't you think Gruden already has? I mean, Gruden's reached out to him.
Yeah.
Mayock has, behind closed doors, they've all reached out to him. AB, today, as we record this, it's Friday, went in and had a heartfelt apology, very emotional apology after what transpired on the field Wednesday.
Yeah.
But here's where I stand, and I agree that, and I'm from the Jimmy Johnson school of treating athletes different. You treat your superstars different than you treat your average and your role players.
If you want to win.
If you want to win, true.
If now that's the flip side of this. John Gruden has a 10-year deal with the team. He's top dog. If he don't want to win right now, then fine. Let AB go. Because the bottom line is, if you want to win, that is the best player, so you do whatever you could possibly do within reason to put up with him. Now, for the shenanigans that AB is pulling off, he needs to be fined.
Okay.
He needs to get in his pockets.
Okay, so they did fine him for what happened Wednesday at practice, and he wasn't happy about it. Okay.
Right.
But what do you expect? You basically told your employer that you're gonna punch him in the face and you punt a football, and the last guy that punted a field goal that talked some head got released by the Raiders and ended up in Denver and didn't cut it there, and that was Marquette King. But what did you expect?
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay some money.
Yeah, if it was anybody in any other team, there's still going to be a fine or suspension, or they're going to release you. My point was this, though. You treat players differently. I agree with that. You treat, like I said, superstars different than your role players right. And the guys that are just barely on the team that you can replace.
Right.
Okay, I agree with that. But I think for the first time in Antonio Brown's career, there's accountability. A team is holding him accountable. The Steelers enabled him for the first part of his career. And when they tried to hold him accountable, it was already too late. Now you're with the new organization. You're with the new team. You're with a head coach / team president that is, in a way, old school with the new school mentality. Right. And he's not going to put up with no BS. He's not going to put up with your junk. When he was asked about it by an NFL Network reporter, he said what he did in Pittsburgh is not going to fly with the Raiders. And if he does it, he's not going to be here. That was in February, March at the owners' meetings. Now that stuff's starting to come back into play, it looks like. At least that's the perception, because that's all we're seeing is the one side. At what point does John Gruden step in and say, okay, enough is enough, AB, stop acting like a spoiled brat and get on the field and be the baller that you are? Because right now you're proving that everybody that is in the Steelers organization, from the owner to the players, former teammates to fans, right with your actions.
I don't know, man. I hope that tonight's video didn't push anybody over the edge, because I wish that he wouldn't have put that video out. It's certain things that need to stay in-house with a team, with a company, with a family, whatever you want to call it, and those things shouldn't come out. My biggest issue with Mayock was the fact that he didn't have to address the media with the all in, all out. Then my biggest issue with AB, you don't have to post that letter. That's team business. AB being in or all night is a conversation that Mike Mayock has with AB away from the team. It could be loud, it could be dirty, it could be salty, it could be disrespectful. Whatever the case, it's away from everybody else. We don't find out about it. Antonio's fine. We don't know about it. We don't know the price. We don't know nothing until he posts it. Don't post it. The coach, the top dog, not just the coach, the top dog in the organization has called you and has basically bared his soul, and you make a short movie out of it and put it up on social media. Like, I'm just trying to get to Monday night. If we could just get to, I wish we could skip the next 2 days.
Do you think he makes it to Monday night?
I did before I saw this tonight.
Literally right before we started recording, we got the text with the mini movie on there, and instantly everything that we were going to talk about kind of went out the window. Like, okay, we're going to lead with this.
Yeah, so it's like he keeps poking and pressing and prodding and just keeps doing all these little things. Like posting this video tonight, that's a bad look. That's how this all started in the first place. Mayock coming out, putting family business out there for people for the world to see, gets back to AB. AB comes out, put family business out there for the world to see, gets back, and it's like that ain't doing nothing for nobody. You know, and it's like it's just, you know, the difference between him being in Pittsburgh, and I know that he had his antics going in Pittsburgh, but it was a different kind of locker room. You know what I'm saying? He had some guys there that he had to respect regardless.
Well, Troy Polamalu came out today and said that he had issues with them back in 2012. We all know Roethlisberger's had issues with him.
Yeah.
And you would think that, I think Big Harrison probably had some issues with him, and that's one guy I wouldn't want to rock with.
Yeah, and Antonio didn't either. That's what I mean. It's you know it's that presence is not in the Raider locker room. This is a new team. It's not many veterans in there. The type of veterans that they went out and got, they're not those types of guys. You know what I'm saying? They quiet. They you know the whole, even when you look at the draft, the type of guys that they drafted, like they passed on talent and went for character first. So you don't see the big bully in the room with the Raiders just yet. And that not being there, you know, probably makes AB feel some type of cachet. Like, hey, I'm the guy here who's been there. I'm the one that's, you know, I'm the star of the team.
He's the one they were hoping would take that leadership role with Carr.
But that's stupid, though. Why?
Because he's your biggest name.
But what has he ever shown you that says that this is the guy that's going to lead the actual
his
team?
work ethic. But look at his work ethic, how he puts in the work, the amount of time and effort into not just getting his body right, but the recovery, the preventive medicine.
That doesn't make you that don't make you a leader, though. That makes you a great player. He's a great player, so that's why we need to get his ass on the field on Monday night. What makes you a leader is your character and how you manage other people's character.
Okay, so we're gonna switch gears, but AB, is he on the field Monday night right now? Yes or no answer. There's no I don't know, I hope so. Yes or no, I need a squeeze gut check.
I need to dissect that video again. Right now I'm saying yes, but I don't know if that could change by the end of this podcast.
I'm gonna say definitively he will be. Unless it changes by the end of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Jeez.
He's just too good of a player. Gruden needs to win now. We talked about it privately. You know, he needs to win now.
And to be honest, with AB on the team, I know, you know, everybody gonna say I'm a homer, but I think the team is gonna do more than what people are expecting. I know it's a hell of a schedule. The schedule is gonna kill us, but I think the team is gonna be pretty competitive.
So before all the antics happened, I said on the Q&A podcast, your boy Q and myself, that 7 to 9 wins is about right. I think that's where it's at. With all the, but take away this stuff, I think, and I said this on the very last podcast that we did, that I think the Raiders actually could win the division. With everything going on in Los Angeles, because I was going to be San Diego Chargers.
Yeah, for real.
All right, with Melvin Gordon,
deal with it.
The injuries and all that, I think that's a problem. Denver is just a mess right now, I think, you know, quarterback-wise. I don't think they're the same team. But I also think Kansas City has issues because I don't think Mahomes is going to throw for 5K and 50 touchdowns again. I actually think you have a year of film on a guy. Teams are going to turn around and scheme for him a little bit more, and they're going to, you know, curtail their defenses. And Shady McCoy's on the back end of his career. I'm not a big believer in the Chiefs. I really think the Raiders have a chance to win their division with the amount of talent they have on the roster.
If they win the division, that's more than any of us can ask for.
I wish we had a breaking news sounder right now. Per Chris Mortensen, the GOAT when it comes to inside information.
No.
More on AB84 YouTube video. Raiders sources Gruden was, quote, truly amused by it and even thought it was, quote, awesome. That is all next.
Thank God. Thank God. Gruden probably in the office cussing and fussing and throwing stuff up against the wall. Fine. That's what you say to the public, Coach. Nice work. Let's play Monday night. Let's just get to Monday night.
I bet you that's what
Monday night.
I bet there's Gruden saying, you know what? Let's just play some football.
Yeah. Get to Monday night, man.
So speaking of football, and we're switch gears a little bit off the Raiders and into something else. Last night's game, season kicked off last night. Green Bay, Chicago. No.
Here we go.
No. I'm not even getting into Green Bay. What I'm going to get into is this. I think we're going to start to see the NFL start to shift to more defensive league like it was in years past.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you why. And I didn't talk to you about this, so this is what makes it good. I'm getting natural reaction from him. For so long, the NFL in the last few years has been nothing but offense. Right. All the rules and the flags and all that's all for just the offense. But now you're seeing teams get more athletic, get more long. Like Green Bay, for instance, Preston Smith. And the guy is just long. He literally stopped plays just off his length and athleticism. Yeah. And same thing on the other side with the other Smith. Mm-hmm. And you see a lot of teams going that route. I think we're going to start to see more of that. Even the Raiders have gone that route. They're gone more athletic and long and lean versus short, squatty, and fat. I'm looking at guys, and I'm looking at the NFL as now that the teams are adjusting to the rules, and you're going to see more defense coming out the league. Teams like Green Bay, Chicago, really good defenses. The Raiders defense looks like it's the truth right now. So I mean, you look at teams. I really think defense is going to be the new in vogue thing for the NFL.
Well, I mean, you gotta, it's a lot of NFL minds out there. It's funny you say that because you gotta combat all this offense some kind of way, right? So you got the McVays and all of these college coaches and stuff coming in, just switching the game up, just air raiding, letting the ball fly. So defense has got to adapt. Guys gonna be losing their job. So I think that's just the way it happens. I think it's happened like that over time. Once the offenses start getting innovative, you had that innovative defensive coach that comes in from Buddy Ryan. You know what I'm saying? Bill Belichick.
Well, I'm saying Belichick. Look at who won the Super Bowl. I mean, look at how he beat McVay. He beat him off defense, running the ball, ball control. I think that's what I'm saying. It's
chess, man. It's chess. It's just like with anything else. I think it happens with all sports. Over time, these dudes are playing chess. The types of minds and the types of analytics that's out there these days with what plays work against what, all this and that, and how many people that are being hired on a staff just for that information.
Even at the college level, you got Herm Edwards hiring Marvin Lewis as an offensive analyst and assistant head coach. Like, you get a guy that coach, and look, I don't care what you say about Marvin Lewis. You turned the Bengals franchise around. Before you got there, and we were just talking about Peter Warwick the other day, you had Peter Warwick and all these other, Kejana Carter and Keely Smith, and it was a joke of a franchise. They were the Cleveland Browns. They were the team winning no more than 3-4 games a year, and he brings them to the playoffs, and he had a very successful run. You bring him in to work with you at the collegiate level, where now all you're doing is looking at defense or offensive film. Like, you're a soundboard. You have another set of eyes. That's the new in vogue thing, and you're right. A lot of NFL teams are going that route, adding these types of guys in there because, at least in the NFL, there's no budget. You can bring in as many coaches as you want. Exactly. I could come up with a name. This is going to be Mick Squeezer, Mick Squeeze, whatever. And just tell me what you see.
Put them on the payroll. Show me this. What does this mean? Why is this happening?
Exactly.
Give me the fraction. Give me the algorithm. Give me the formula. I mean, it's chess. It's chess, man. It ain't checkers. So you got a point. If whoever that new young hot thinking coach is that finds a way to shut McVayism down, he's the next man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know who it's not.
That's how it goes.
Steve Sarkisian. Hey, he was costing Julio some dough, bro.
Come on, man.
But by the way, let's give love to Julio Jones real quick. He's about to sign a massive deal before the start of the season on Sunday.
Yes.
And also family Miles Jack.
Yes.
Yes, congratulations.
Clap it up, cuz-os. Get your money, boys.
Yes, family, man. It's good to see them do that. In fact, I'm real happy for Miles, man. Hasn't missed a game in his career after all the BS that came out around the draft and cost him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And in fact, before we move on to UNLV football, I'll tell this quick story. We're watching the draft together at a Parkway Tavern here in Las Vegas. Man. And Miles starts sliding, and I think it gets to the Raiders, and they take Carl Joseph.
Oh,
and
man.
That's the attitude. I like Carl Joseph, by the way, and sold him on him after the fact. Then it gets to like the 49ers again, and
have had Miles Jack, man. 44 could have been playing for the Raiders or the 49ers.
Then he gets to Green Bay, and I'm like, we're gonna take him, and then no.
Thank God
At
he didn't go there.
At that point, I just whatever. He ended up going to Jacksonville. And
Duval.
that's a great thing for him. So now
Good
they
thing,
got
Miles.
to pay my other guy.
Ball out this year, Daddy-O.
They got to pay my guy Jalen Ramsey.
The Raiders will pay him. No, that's you know what, that defense is. I love to watch that defense, man. They fly around. Hopefully, they got a lot more to play for this year with your boy Fozy. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I don't know about that one.
come on, man.
I know. I just don't know about that one.
Last year was a letdown. Whenever the offense get on the field, the defense is over there with their head in their hands, like watching the Keystone Cops.
I'm just not sold on Foles.
Man won the Super Bowl.
So did Jeff Hostetler.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Better. Better than what they had back then.
So did Mark Rippon and Jay Schrader. Like, come on, man. Like,
I'll take all of them people over what they had playing quarterback last year, bro. I'll take all of them guys.
Blake Bortles wasn't that bad.
He was terrible. He was terrible.
All right, back to the franchise, and the franchise is based out of Las Vegas. And let's talk about UNLV football. Last week, they beat Southern Utah University. They beat the brakes off of them 56-23. It wasn't that close of a score. The 21 points or 22 something like 21 points or what roughly came out against a third team defense. 17 points. Yeah, it was garbage. It was garbage time. It was 17 points. And it was in the fourth quarter, the worst 15 minutes of football a coach told me that he's ever been a part of. You know, he's like, that was the worst 15 effing minutes of football I've ever been a part of. It was just a clown show. With that being said, this week they take on Arkansas State. Last year, Arkansas State beat them in a typhoon, damn near hurricane weather. It was like 27-20. UNLV was up 19-14 going into the fourth quarter, or 19-17, and it just three fourth quarter turnovers in the red zone. And Armani Rogers went down with a turf toe and was out for 7 weeks. Was really
changed the season.
Big time. Tomorrow they play Arkansas State. This is a team that has their own adversity. Their head coach, his wife passed away 2 weeks ago from a battle with breast cancer. So the intern head coach is the new defensive coordinator who was at Central Michigan, whose last year average defense gave up 37 points a game.
Oh boy.
So I'll say this. I like UNLV in this game for a variety of reasons. I think you're going to see the passing game open up this week, the seam routes. Their running back, Chuck Williams, is going to do a good job. I think he's going to run inside and then bounce out versus cut back to the inside. Their nose tackle does a really good job of staying home and look for that cutback. And then defensively, you're going to see a new defense that UNLV puts in. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I know it. I've seen it. I've seen it on film, and it is the type of defense that's going to cause a lot of teams problems. So I like UNLV 42-17. I like them pretty big in this game. I do.
I completely, even more. I say, woo. I don't see this team scoring 17 points on UNLV, especially not with the new defensive wrinkles. UNLV has a lot of speed on both sides of the ball, more than they've had in subsequent years. And I see maybe 7 points, 10 points at the most. I don't see it happening. And then they're coming off a loss last year. Like you said, it was in a typhoon. We're going to be out here in the hot desert tomorrow. Them boys don't know what they're getting into.
They're not even going to sweat. Like Arkansas State's, they're used to that heat. They get that southern heat, that humidity. And their jerseys are sweating. Man, they're going to come out here and it's going to be like,
what is going on?
I'm dry. I'm not sweating.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, and the mouth start getting dry, and the ears and the eyes start getting dry.
Cotton mouth.
Woo!
That actually, the article that's up on Franchise Sports Media, I did an article with UNLV linebacker, Florida grad transfer Rashad Jackson. And I said, Shad, like, what's been the most difficult transition for you?
Yeah.
And RJ goes, bro, man, my throat was so dry. I felt like I was choking
rough out
on
there,
myself.
man. It's rough out there, man. My first singing show was in Las Vegas.
Ever?
First one ever.
Coming of age or just?
Yeah. And man, boy, you talking about even trying to sing out there on that stage, man. It's crazy. It's at Sam Boyd Stadium. So I get it.
So it's
Ain't
kind
no
of
joke.
coming full circle.
Yeah, exactly.
So just so you guys know, we go back, and it's in the Franchise Sports Media bio, and it's in the blog that Squeeze wrote. We go back like 25 plus years.
Yeah.
Like, this really is family. And this, what you see now, is us on an everyday, except there's a lot more cursing. And,
Oh, yeah.
And we're cutting it short just because, we want to keep you entertained. There's a lot more we could talk about, and a lot more we're going to talk about. On behalf of everybody with Franchise Sports Media, we welcome you to the franchise, not just the show, but with us.
With us 100%. We want y'all to go to the website, www.franchisesportsmedia.com. You can go to the contact page, sign up. We got a newsletter getting ready to start. We got some things cracking, man. We're a full-fledged media company, so we have some of our own productions that we're getting ready to get started with. The website is active. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram. It's the Franchise LV, at the Franchise LV on everything. We love y'all. We love the response we've been getting. Monday night. We just trying to get to Monday night.
We may record Monday night, because Monday night, if you're in Vegas, go down to the link. They're having Raiders Central. It's the Raiders dens all throughout the link. Raider Nation on location will be there. It is going to be a blast. If you get there early, you get silver and black beads. So all my people from the Bayou, woo-woo, throw them up, it really has some fun. American Bar and Grill, that may be the spot we link up at. We'll see if Super James is DJing there that night, too.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be the spot to watch the
fun.
game. All at the link. Raider Nation, we appreciate you. Going out to Sam Boyd on Saturday, UNLV Arkansas State 80s night, and Icky Woods is going to be there doing the Icky Shuffle.
Oh, my. We'll be there.
Oh, yeah.
Go to the UNLV page on the franchise website and get tickets. Once again, that's www.franchisesportsmedia.com.
And with that, we'll talk to you next time on The Franchise.